want to do an updated Caspa price prediction. Where do I realistically see Caspa going this cycle, and how do I see overall adoption going whenever we compare it to very good layer one, such as Solana or Sui? We're going to go over a lot of different data points on DeFi Llama, including total value locked and how much revenue the actual chain's making, and what'll it take for Caspa to reach the next level, guys. We're going to get into everything Casper price prediction, and more. I love you all. This never financial advice. Coming over here to crypto market cap, a lot of people say we're in altcoin season. 71 out of 100. That's enough to pass a test in school, but we're still not looking too hot. 8.5 cents for Caspa. When we come over here to the overall crypto market cap, you can see BTC 115 holding up against a key level. ETH 4,600 really showing strength coming towards altcoin season, but Caspa is lacking. And when we go through all the cryptocurrencies, Caspa was as high as 32 or 33 before. Now it's about to fall out of the top 50. So this is something that we've been talking a lot about over in my Discord. And guys, it's very hard to maintain sane in these markets all by yourself. So for a limited time, for reaching 10,000 over on X, we're going to bring back code FAM69. This is less than a cup of coffee per day, guys. That is a huge discount that's only going to be around for 1 week. So use code FAM69. Join like-minded investors. We got our own Caspa section, and then we also got some good calls if you like the trenches as well. But guys, I can't wait to see you there. But let's get into the Caspa chart. And at first, before we're able to really go and compare this to the likes of Solana, the likes of Sui, and really see where I think Caspa could go this cycle, we have to understand where Caspa has been so far. During this time back here, there was a lot of talk of KRC20 coins that were right there. There's a lot of very good meme coins. One of my favorite, Croak on Caspa, beside the same people of Broke on Base and some other tokens, guys. There's also Bomo over here. There's a lot of good projects over here, but there just hasn't been enough attention coming over to the KRC20 ecosystem. Even Nacho, the top meme coin on there, is still fairly low when it comes to overall crypto market cap. So we have to understand that there was a lot of hype back here around KRC20, but then a lot of people just realized that it is not that easy to trade these coins. There is no decentralized exchange, and it's just not that good without smart contracts. And you can see from the tip to the valley was a 75% dump right there. That was not easy to swallow from anyone that's a Caspa holder. But we also have to understand that Caspa was in a bull market when everything else was in a bear market. So now I want to go over and look at some data. Solana is now the #1 trading coin, right? Ethereum has more total value locked. But what led to the rise of Solana? What led to the rise of something like Sui? Because if that is what happened and history tends to repeat itself, then that's what we need to look at for Caspa to be very successful. So whenever we come over here and we take a look at Solana, we know Solana has been on a couple historical runs. If we come over here, it reached a market cap of 71 bill in 2021 cycle, and then it reached that high again in March of 2024 and has hit over 120 multiple times, and it's currently there. But it did not come overnight, and it came with fees. So that's something that I want to show you all, is that the underlying asset of all of these coins needs to go up. These are utility coins in the sense of Solana is operating in an entire decentralized finance ecosystem. Solana is used for a lot of things other than just sending money back and forth, which is all Caspa is currently doing at a $2.3 billion market cap. When we come look at another chain, such as Sui, we could see it's a $2 billion total value locked. This is how much money is actually locked in the chain. And here we can see the fees. So if we come over here and we take a look at the peaks of Solana, we could see it was making over 20 M a day in fees. But even if we just look at all this downtime that a lot of people consider are the trenches struggling, or very low volume times, The chain is still making, if you want to average this out, over 1 million a day. And when we come over here and take a look at something like Sui had a couple pops, but even if we were to average all of this out right here, this we're probably looking somewhere in the realm of 25 30K a day in chain fees, which is not very high at all. But whenever we come over here and look at Solana is what I would say is the target, right? That is what Caspa would dream to be. I honestly thought that Caspa could pass up Solana one day, and maybe it can, but it's going to take a lot of work to get there. So if we're looking right now at current fees, if we just look right here, this is 7K fees in Caspa a day. Guys, that is about $1,000. Some of this 2.9 thousand a Caspa a day. Caspa is 0.8 cents. That is absolutely nothing. That is why when the Caspa emissions go to a point that there is no more tokens coming out, these fees have to go up. They absolutely have to go up. There's no way the network will stay alive with 20,000 Caspa in fees. That's it. That's it. But if you look at these very hot days, 25M Caspa in fees, guys, at a price of 13 cents. Okay, that's over 2.5 million a day in fees. That would be a growing chain, and this amount of demand nonstop would have a lot of people buying the underlying asset Cas to be able to utilize its DeFi protocol. But that's exactly why we need smart contracts on Caspa, and they are coming very soon. We're having smart contracts layer 2 solutions by various different developers. We're also having the first decentralized exchange coming, but I also believe we need native smart contracts to come. But if we just were to take a look, and if Cas could get from, let's just say, this amount of fees, which is not much at all, right? This is $1,000 in fees, not very much at all, to something like Sui over here with 20, 30, 40K in fees. And if the token reflected that as well, that would be about a 50-cent Casper out there, where if Caspa was able to do the unthinkable and really have a really explosive DeFi application with this type of volume, over a mil in fees a day, that could potentially bring the token to a $5 a Caspa. But the two different targets are a $5 Caspa and a 50-cent Caspa. But where do I think it's going to go? Because I do not think it's going to be able to pass up Solana, even where Solana is currently at. But I also believe it has more potential in it than Sui. Just specifically, I think that has more upside than Sui as an overall network. So whenever we come over here and we take a look at the overall market, we could expect about a double from this. I used to think 8 to 12, but now I'm thinking if we can get to 8 within the next year, that's a double in the overall crypto market. I think that would be very bullish for the overall crypto market. And so whenever we come over here and we take a look at where these other tokens really exist, Sui is number 14. And whenever I come over here and look at it, I look at something like Cardano, and I really think that when we're looking at Tron and Cardano, that Caspa could challenge those two. I do not think it's going to make it to BNB this cycle or even within the next couple years, and I don't think it's going to make it in Sol. But if we could just look off of data and say that over here to where Sui at is a 5x in overall price, but I honestly think that we could get to this level of Cardano or Tron, which is another 3x from where Sui is right now. So my overall price prediction, which is a pretty broad range, is somewhere between a 5, which is what Sui is in multiples, to a 15, which is where Cardano is in terms of market cap. So that's anywhere between a 50-cent and a $1.50 Caspa. I talked to multiple people in the Caspa ecosystem about this, and they said that would be a bearish overall price prediction, even though they agreed with me. And so I would like to know, what do you think about that? 50 cents to a $1.50. That is getting Caspa from 49th in overall market cap to the top 10 in overall market cap. I want to know, but if you want to have direct access to me 24/7, be able to be with a community that is like-minded like you, make sure you use code FAM69 up above. This is a limited lowest price the Discord will ever be. Watch this video up above, and if you're not a part of the finance Freeman family. What are we doing? Subscribe. I love you all.